Good morning. So just a couple of things that have happened since I last spoke to you guys. We are going to activate Matt Adams later today. So that'll be done later today. And then also, we signed D-end Taco Charlton to the 53-man roster off the Saints practice squad. So we got that as well. And we waived defensive lineman Kingsley Jonathan. And as you guys know, Khalil Herbert went to IR. So that's really all I have for the news. Again, we started today, first and second down with, preparing for Atlanta. Obviously, a big challenge for us as a football team, really to really, set the things straight in terms of getting back into the win column. So we're just really focusing on what we can do better every single day, and this is a big part of it. How can we be more effective on first and second down on offense and defense, and then getting ourselves into situations we like on third down. So that'll be tomorrow. So guys are working hard at that. We just got done with our walkthroughs. A little bit change to the schedule, a little bit because of the weather here in Chicago. So we did a little bit more extensive walkthrough in the ITC, and then we will go over to the Walter Payton Center prior to practice, and we'll perform a walkthrough there, an extended walkthrough before practice, special teams first, and offense and defense. And then if we plan on staying inside, we'll stay there. If we plan on going outside, we'll walk back outside and practice the rest of the way outside, which we'll do today. We'll be practicing right out here in Field 1. And in pads, we'll get our pad work in. And similar to the last couple weeks, we will take we'll stop the practice 3/4 of the way through and do a walkthrough at the very end. So we'll finish up with a walkthrough and then finish up with post-practice meetings. So it's a little bit of an adjustment. We'll do the same thing tomorrow, weather permitting. And then we plan on being inside on Friday because we're playing inside. Fast Friday will be inside on the turf, and then so will our final walkthrough. So with that, I'll open up to questions.
Can you provide any clarity on Khalil's long-term prognosis? Do you think he will be back at some point this season?
Yeah, we do. We feel comfortable with it. Again, we don't know exactly. Again, that could change, but we like where he is. He's in a good spot. We'll see where it goes. I don't have any timetables, though.
With Ebner, he's a different kind of back. What do you describe as kind of the things that you like about his skill set? And how
Yeah, he's got really good speed. His vision is good. I think he can take it to the second level, which is really good. I do like his vision, his ability to cut back as well. But you guys saw a lot of him in the preseason and that, so we're excited about him. Yeah, whenever you lose a player like that, it's always hard. It's hard to replace him. Khalil's got a great style to him. You guys have seen the breakout runs. So it's hard to replicate that, and we're just going to have to share the load with those guys, and Demo stepping up and doing some different things, but certainly a talented back for sure.
Matt, what do you guys like about Taco Charlton?
Yeah, so we when I was in Dallas, we drafted him there. He was in Kansas City for a touch with Ryan, so we know the man. So, he's good production. Up to a certain point. I think he had 11.5 sacks. I want to say 13 TFLs, maybe 76 QB pressures during the course of his time in the NFL. So, we're excited to have him. We're excited to see where it can go. He's going to be in there for depth for us, a rotational player inside, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Now, when you bring in a player like Claypool, is there urgency to get him more involved in the offense, or is that something you intend to take slowly?
Yeah, I just think that all of our skill, we try to get involved. It's not going to work out every single week where everybody gets involved. Everybody gets the touches that they need or want to have, but we're certainly trying to do that for sure. We're trying to get Claypool the touches, and highlight his athletic skill like we all of our players.
He's not just all of your players. This is arguably, you can make the case as the best wide receiver on your team the day he arrives. You spend a lot to get him. There would seem to be some need to get him involved.
Yeah, like I said, all the skill players that we have, Mooney, Cole, Clay, all those guys, Pringle, we want to get all those guys touches, and we want to spread it around.
I often refer back to your time in Indianapolis as kind of a template of what you're doing here, but I'm curious, is what's happening now on defense, is this new territory for you as far as trying to dig yourself out of a hole? It just seems like with Roquan gone, Quinn gone, just the way things are going on defense, that this is maybe a bigger challenge than you've ever faced?
Well, I would just say that, like Sanborn and Brisker and Gordon and Dominic and those guys getting the work that they're getting is invaluable. Those guys are getting experiences that you can't replicate, and they need to get. In order to improve, you need to get the reps. You need to get the reps in there, and every year's different. You're dealing with a different skill set, a different, bunch of guys that you're working with on defense or offense or kicking, and it's our job to make sure we put the best product out there.
Especially when you're in close games, not many, it doesn't seem like many coaches would take their lumps like that, and be willing to take those steps backwards to take 2 steps forward. What is it about, what do you see that in your philosophy or whatever that kind of allows you to handle that and live with some of the problems you have, through progress?
Yeah, I would just say that, you're building foundational floor. The hits principle, we want to build upon that. Obviously, we got to take the ball away, more. We have to do a good job. We had a couple opportunities last week. We didn't get that done, so we're going to work diligently to get those things done. But, again, the experience that those guys are getting is invaluable.
Matt, you said you want to put your best receivers on the field to be able to win a game. So what is Velas not showing you guys in practice? Where can you be specific and just tell us what is he not showing you?
Yeah, so, every single week we look at the roster and we say, okay, these guys, this group's going to be up for us, and we have it's always a couple players that you're saying, hey, is it this guy or that guy relative to what's going to happen? And you say, okay, a lot of times the determining factor of those last decisions you make are special teams. So when you look at that, is he going to help us in cover teams? Is he going to help us returning? Is he going to help us in other ways on special teams? And then, if he is the fifth or the other receiver that we have, is he going to be able to help us, with certain things, like for Velas, gadget plays, sweep end arounds, all those things, and then blocking on the perimeter. So we always look at that, and we'll make our decision as we go this week, and we'll see what happens.
No, with him as a kick return potential, a kickoff return with Neal being out,
Right.
you have to balance how much of a load you want to give Treston, knowing he's a rookie too, and it might be maybe too much to do being on offense and kick return. Is that something where Velas could potentially fit back in?
No, that's a good point. That's a good point, and we're certainly looking at all those options. We're looking at all those guys that have returned kicks for us either in the preseason or during the season, and it all has to be weighed in. How much can guys handle, relative to their role on offense, and then also in kicking. So that all has to be looked at by our offensive coaches, in HT.
What led to the decision to stick with Riley at right tackle over Larry?
What's going on, the decision of that?
What led to the decision to stick with Riley at right tackle?
Yeah, first of all, Larry's done a great job. He's been awesome. He's been a bit of a pro, and he's working his tail off in there. But Riley's done well. Riley's done well in there since he's had that spot. He's playing with a good demeanor. He's functioned well. He's graded out well. So, we're just going that way at this point. But again, it's still a competition. We'll see where it goes, and how it goes with NFL. Some guys go down, all of a sudden Larry's back in. So you never know what can happen.
You've been in the NFL for a long time. How special, especially in terms of a defensive coach, how special is what Justin has been doing the last few weeks to you, and how rare do you think it is?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty amazing. The numbers and the ability to run, and then see his growth in the passing game. To see all those things, and really to see the guys around him starting to gel. With Mooney and Cole and those guys really starting to gel around him. It really helps our running game. It helps the runners. Certainly open up a lot of windows in there in the run game as well, but certainly exciting.
What we've seen as the biggest strategy from Cole as the season has evolved.
Yeah, just kind of growing into and feeling his way in the offense. I really just see him getting more and more comfortable. And Cole is a special guy. He is a energy. He is enthusiasm. He brings light into a room. Man, when he comes in here, into our offensive room and really tucking in the whole team, he just does a really good job with that. So he's everything we stand for.
What was the thought process at wide receiver Sunday in playing Pringle coming off the injury and scratching Harry?
Yeah, just the process of us looking at see what's best for us, at that time to win the game. So we thought Pringle does a really good job of working in the run game. Coming down to, shortening it down there and getting on linebackers, getting on safeties, and he's done a good job with that. So we thought that was our best way to go.
We
We've seen so little of Pringle, by the way, since you signed him, just because he's been hurt. We
Yeah.
didn't see him in training camp, we haven't seen him during the games.
Right.
What do you guys see in him that you think maybe we're, or at least I'm missing?
Yeah, I would just say a physical guy that can really block the point in a run game. I think he's a big body that can that's open. In terms of being able to big body guys and have strong at the catch point. Good route runner. So that's what we see.
Back to right tackle, with Alex Leatherwood, is this just a product of like unfortunate circumstances for him where, he missed that time with the illness and that he hasn't really been able to get up to speed to compete?
Yeah, it was unfortunate. In fact, I was just talking to Simo yesterday about that. I said, because he missed all that time, and he's really starting, in practice now. We really like where he is. He's really starting to, feel his way into that role, playing inside or outside, whatever that is, and he's understanding the offense. And you can really start to see his confidence start to build. The guys are getting comfortable. He's getting comfortable with the guys, and he's getting a lot of help from them, all the group, the whole group. So he's starting to take some big steps.
Now, what do you think about the NFL allowing coaches to channel penalties, one way or the other? You guys missed that one, or we didn't think that was going to be on some things on Jalen. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the game would probably be 5 hours long, and they want to keep it. They want to keep it at just right around 3 is my understanding, or hopefully soon under 3. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Matt, you were clear on Monday that there's no excuses if a guy's playing through pain and
Yeah.
he's not going to be at 100%. The flip side of that, I'm just curious what value you put on your player's ability to gut through things when they're through discomfort. That will make different decisions.
Yeah. So obviously when I said that, I want to make sure that we're clear on that. I'm not insensitive, to players playing through pain. Injury's different. A guy's injured, you probably shouldn't be playing. You should be sitting on the side. But if you have something you can play with and it's pain, which everybody plays with pain, right? You have guys playing with thumbs and, different other things that they have, that we expect those guys to get in there and play, with the pain. If they say that they're ready to play, it's really up to Dre and the player themselves. Like I said, they're professional athletes. And then once they're out there, we expect them to make plays and do the things, but we certainly respect, them doing that, playing through pain and doing that for their teammates for sure.
Coach, will it ever get to a point where you may consider doing what's best for the 2023 season as opposed to what may be best to win this week's game? Maybe that's not this week, maybe it's later on in the season, but a situation where maybe you want to take a look at a young player as opposed to a veteran player who may not be on this team next year.
Yeah, we don't do that. I would just say that we're just going to focus week to week on what we can do to win the game. So we're going to put our best guys out there to win that football game.